Convicts a Fayetteville man on charges related to a spree of robberies.
So, according to court documents, Kareem Brown engaged in a serial bank robbery spree that spanned a month from December 2021 to January 2022. Those robberies happened in Hope Mills, Angier, Fuquay-Varina, Fayetteville as well. Now,
what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG, TikTok, bottom video. Just gonna hop right into it. So, probably knows a different background at the granny house today. Tomorrow may be a different background if I'm able to get a video up for Saturday, but if not, we'll be back at the crib by next week. But today we'll be doing a little bit of a more local story. Definitely, it happened in the Fayetteville area, Fayetteville, North Carolina. I did do a Fayetteville video yesterday about a shooting, but this one's a little funnier to me, and well, I feel like it would be interesting to y'all too. But yeah, it definitely was funny to me. But today we'll be talking about Kareem and Shiheem Brown. Now, it doesn't say, looking from their picture, they don't look related, and, it doesn't say that they're related to things, so I assume it just, just happened to be two niggas that ran into each other with the last name, and Brown is a pretty common last name. So, what we are discussing today is that Kareem and Shiheem Brown, I was going to say they're being accused, but both of them have been convicted at this moment in time for going on a serial bank robbery spree that spanned from December of 2021 to January of 2022, all occurring in Hope Mills, Angier, Fuquay-Varina, and Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'll probably put a map up here so y'all understand like where the area is, because a lot of y'all probably not from North Carolina and gonna understand like the area and why they chose these cities, or like how close these cities to each other. But it's all kind of in that Harnett County, Cumberland County area. Well, Fayetteville's in Cumberland County, but it's all in that Harnett County area, just basically like right there by Fayetteville. So it makes sense why they would choose these specific locations. But what they are saying is that Shiheem Brown was the one actually going into these places and robbing people. In the picture, he's the light-skinned one in the back with the money. And Kareem was the one who was casing the places and basically kind of like a getaway driver. So, the events they have laid out before I get into their charges and, what they were convicted of. So, it said it begins in Hope Mills when they robbed a PNC bank for $4,674. Then, it said the next one, on New Year's Eve of 2021, Shiheem is seen on surveillance scouting the first bank in Angier, and then Kareem enters and robs them for $4,600. Did I say that right? Kareem is the one in the back, the light-skinned one, and Shiheem is the dark-skinned. Did I say that right? In the car. I think I messed it up earlier, but say it back. I'll put their names up here with the label so I don't fuck it up. But basically, like I said, it's seen on surveillance scouting the first bank in Angier, and then Kareem enters the bank and robs them for exactly $4,611. 2 weeks later, Kareem robs the PNC on Main Street in Fuquay, getting away with $9,000. And the last act that eventually got them arrested and convicted, Shiheem is seen scouting the Fidelity Bank on Village Drive in Fayetteville. Passed a note to a teller. Kareem then went in and passes a note to the teller, telling he would shoot her if he didn't get money. And this is when he ends up, they get $15,336. So, in total, they roughly, from these four locations, got what, 24, 28, 30, about a little bit over $32,000 to $33,000. And then while they were fleeing, Shiheem takes this picture I'm talking about of him and with Kareem and the money in the back seat. And from this, they were able to catch them. So the selfie is taken approximately seven minutes after that last robbery of the Fidelity Bank on Village Drive in Fayetteville. And yeah, that's what really ended up getting them caught, because they were able to track that vehicle back to both of them. So then after that, Shiheem is arrested at the apartment on January 27th, 2022 by the Fayetteville City Police and the U.S. Marshals. During the arrest, Shiheem threw a loaded firearm off the balcony of the apartment, which was recovered. This firearm also matched the descriptions of the ones used during the robberies, as well as the police were able to recover $2,650 in cash during the arrest. And Kareem was also arrested at his residence the same day. So the way they worded it, it kind of feels like Kareem might have like came back after Shiheem got arrested, or he didn't know and they caught him there. But sad way to go out. So what the charges they have are Kareem Brown 32 is on 1 charge of bank robbery, 3 charges of armed bank robbery, 3 charges of brandishing a firearm during and relation to a crime of violence. So Kareem actually took his to trial, and obviously he got convicted within the last couple of days, which is why we're talking about it now. And he hasn't been sentenced though. He faces a mandatory minimum of 31 years and a chance of statutory max life in prison. And Kareem, he pled guilty a while ago. He pled to 1 count of armed bank robberies and a charge of brandishing a firearm in relation to a crime of violence, sentenced to 18 years in federal prison. Yikes. So obviously, it's not really much more to be said. I think it's just hilarious. You get caught with a selfie. We've been talking about this. I mean, we've seen so many many cases of this of now with the relevance of phones and the internet, of people basically telling on themselves and getting in trouble on the internet. Like, they really tell crimes and self-snitching and whatever, and they are caught because they talk too much on the internet. And this is one of the times. They didn't really have much evidence of who it was or what was going on until obviously they had probably the surveillance camera. But the thing with the surveillance camera, the only thing that would have made that obvious if they kept saying this, if they would realize it was the same figure that was scouting these places. Besides that, they didn't really have much evidence for who was doing this. So the selfie just really gave them up, and that's how they were able to figure out what vehicle it was and found it back to them. But yeah, very, very, very funny case. I do want to say Kareem probably should have played out. I don't know why he didn't plead out when he saw Shiheem get 18. Shiheem played out and got 18 years. So what you thought was going to happen if you got convicted? Now he's facing a minimum of 31 years and maybe life in prison. The thing with 18 years in the feds, yeah, 18 years is a long time, but like usually with federal prison, you don't serve your full 18 years. He probably would have only served about 10. Now, obviously, like I always said, nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody wants to go to prison. So obviously you don't want to go away for 10 years. But if you had the option of going away for 10 versus 30 to life, you're going to pick 10. Like, let's be for real. So he should have played out, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm like, ain't no way they didn't offer him some type of plea at some point that he probably should have took. I don't know why he thought fighting this. I mean, I don't know what he thought. I don't know how he thought he would. I don't know if he had a great lawyer, but I don't know how he thought he was gonna get away with this case. Because one, they didn't even rob that much money for him to have a phenomenal lawyer. Like, let's be honest, they had $30,000, and they were. I would hope if my man was in there upping the gun and the other nigga was only casing, I would hope it wasn't no 50-50 split. But if somebody was just getting like even that, 33,000, you got to split that. I mean, and not even split it down the middle. Maybe one of them got 20 and the other got 13. That is nowhere near gonna get you a expensive and great lawyer. So they did. You really robbed these banks and threw away your life for $30,000. Yes, $30,000 is a good piece of change when you get it at one time, and like they did in a month span. Yeah, it's cool, but that ain't enough money to live off of. And I'm just feeling like if I was doing something like this, I'd try to get enough money where I could, run away and live off of it the rest of my life. But that's just me though. But that's just really all I gotta say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG TikTok about the video, and we out.